What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Raw and Nerdy. We're bringing you another great episode. I'm Rook.
And I'm Archon.
And today's going to be another one of those deep dive topics. Today we're going to discuss why the first playthrough always feels the best for most people. There are people out there that like multiple playthroughs and don't always like the first one. Yeah.
Got to get so good at it, they can speed run it.
But as normal, we're going to start off talking about us. How was your week?
I'm in the middle of a really rough couple months. Let's just say that. My boss has decided that I need to learn all of the routes by the end of next month, which means I'm on route. Generally, in March, I'm on route at least 3 days a week with somebody learning routes, which kind of sucks. But right now, I have a guy that has some vacation time that he has to use before he loses it. So he's taking 3 days this week and 3 days next week. And then I have another guy last week took Friday off. Another guy next week is taking Friday off. And then another guy the following week is taking the Monday off. So it's like this week or last week I was on route with people on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. This week I'm going to be on route actually by myself covering people's routes on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then the next week I'm going to be covering people's routes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Fun.
Yeah. So tomorrow I get to do my normal management duties, that kind of stuff. And then after that, the next 8 working days I'm on route. Ugh.
That sounds busy. Yeah. Hey, but at least you're learning the route, so it's going to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, I know the routes pretty well for the most part. The only one I'm kind of worried about is not this week, but next week, the Monday, because I've only ever seen that route once. So I'm going to kind of have to wing it, but I'll be all right.
Can't you request a ride along tomorrow or something on that route?
I could ride along with him tomorrow, but tomorrow's the only management day I get for like the next 2 weeks. So I got like my own stuff I need to try and get done. And I got to try and buy a car tomorrow. I'm got to work on getting the loaner pre-approved and stuff so that after I get out of work, I can run over to the car dealership. Me and my wife are trying to buy a new van. So, yeah. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow, too. And then lots of busy days after that.
Nice. That shouldn't be too bad, though. I mean,
I don't know. I was on route just this last Friday covering for a guy who was on vacation. And I came home and could hardly move. It sucked. I started at 4:30. I got done with his route at about 4:30 a.m. to 2.
Yeah.
And then when I finished, I got back, had to like compose myself for like an hour, unload the truck, then come home. And then when I got home, it's like all I wanted to do was just take a hot shower and just like take some Tylenol and just lay there and just like I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do anything. It was one of the rougher routes of all of them, but
Epsom salt bath, man, it'll help you out a bit.
I did
especially with sore muscles.
I did that.
I did it all.
I did that, and then I took after I laid there for like an hour until the water got cold. Then I took a hot shower, and then I ate dinner. Like that order. Oh man, it was rough.
Yeah. Just go get you a nice sauna. Jump from the sauna into a really cold shower and just shock your body.
I wish my hot tub was working right now, to be honest with you. It did that thing where it got like the power went out and then the water got too cold and then it just shut off. And now it's just out there, a big frozen ice cube.
And now you gotta let it all out.
Yeah. but that'll
See,
be months.
you could live in Texas, where right now we're in the 70s. We had 1 week of freezing weather. Now we're in the 70s again.
Dude, coats came off today. It was like 43 degrees. It was warm up here, man.
Y'all were in shorts partying.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I thanks to Nikki Z in chat, went down a little rabbit hole and started checking out this game called Hytale, which is
Mhm.
it originally started as a, a mod server on Minecraft called Hypixel. And they were trying to develop it, and it was a very, very popular mod server. And then Minecraft got bought out by Microsoft, and they started putting all those restrictions on them. So they're like, we're just going to develop our own game. So
Mhm.
Hypixel Studios was born. They started developing the game. It got really good. Like, it got to like basically where it was almost ready to launch. And then it got bought out by Riot Games. Well, Riot Games originally was just trying to help them, but then they ended up buying it out. They wanted to make it multi-platform, so they changed everything, including the engine, everything on the game, and it ended up dying. It like they just canceled the project. They're like, this is not worth what we're trying to do. And then the owner or the original owners wanted to buy it back. So they bought it back, switched the engine back, changed everything back to the way they had it, and released it in an early release. And the game is phenomenal. I'm having a
Yeah,
blast with it. It's like if Minecraft was more fun.
it's what Minecraft should have been.
Yeah, the graphics are better by far. Like, they're a
I
lot more
mean,
fun.
you can look at your avatar and make out every part of them instead of it looking like a jumbled mess.
Right. Plus, you can customize your avatar and make them look the way you want instead of just the presets that you can get from Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
The combat is really fun. I really enjoy the combat in it instead of just the swing your sword and don't die like that you get in
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft. There's actual combat with attack moves, special attacks. Like, it's fun. I mean, there are some things, it's early access, so there are some things that they're still working on and still adding. Like, there's no boats, and like, some of the blocks you can't get to line up exactly the way you want them to line up because like you can't turn them. Um, what was the other thing I was telling you about? There's no
Well, the blocks
experience.
ones, there's no experience, there's no character levels. The blocks, certain items you can rotate, but your big square blocks you can't rotate to match the setup that's already on the surface you're messing with. Um,
Forgot.
I
There was
think
one
those
thing
were
I
our.
said. No, there was one thing I said that it was missing. Like, one thing that was different. It was a big thing, and I can't remember what it was. But I know that the game is fully customizable. That's the way they made it. They made it to where people can mod it. I know there are mods out there for it already that you can add to it, but I also know that from what I've read and from what I've seen, they are adding an RPG aspect to the game. There will be like quests and experience and things like that that's getting added later from everything I was reading about it. That's just something that's not there yet. I think it's funny that like when you go in like certain areas that aren't developed yet, they'll have like these little signs that say work in progress. Just
I know,
little
right?
yellow, you get little yellow triangle signs that say work in progress. I took
And
one.
so you went and took one and you brought it and put it on the main base.
Yeah, so Rook and I are both playing, and we started up a private server to play together, and yeah, we're having a blast with it. We've built up the biggest base already in like 24 hours of playing.
Well, we got lucky enough when we started the server. We started the spawn point for the world was near a abandoned mine shaft, which had the mine shaft building with the crane and the elevator and all that. So we just took that over and just built up from
Yeah, it
there.
just went from there. And then I got all adventurous and went exploring while Rook was like just building, making this base huge. I'm out gathering all these materials and bringing them back for him to use to build with. And then I went out exploring and found like the desert and stuff. And then I went and found like the cold area. And then we both went and explored the cold area.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, and then once we unlocked teleporters, I started putting teleporters in all the cool areas. And I moved down to the desert area. I found this really sweet island off the coast, and I have been building up my area right there on an island. I got my own little remote island.
I
It's
thought
pretty
about
sweet.
actually going up to the lava area and actually building on that
The
island, but the
barren waste.
creatures, yeah, the barren waste and the creatures that spawn on there, I'm like, no, not today,
Yeah,
because I
you
won't
need a
have
full
time to
set of
build.
like cobalt armor or better to survive pretty well up there. They'll wreck
Yeah,
you.
it's just taking the time, having the time to build the base up there.
Yeah.
But some things I hope they add more is different items to craft with the different materials you get. Because right now you get chairs, tables, doors, windows, stuff like that. You don't get a big variety of things.
Yeah, I noticed like when you're crafting, like if you're using a softwood, which is like there's like 30 different types of wood in the game, but like they're classified as like softwood and hardwood, and like no matter what type of softwood you use, you basically get the same type of chairs. No
Hmm.
matter what type of hardwood you use, you get I mean there's a couple like the poisoned wood and the ice or the frozen wood or whatever that make special stuff, but for the
Well,
most part it's like
redwood has the lumberjack theme.
yeah,
Cinder has your not cinder,
cedar.
cedar has your tavern design.
Yeah, I think I need to find more
And
cedar.
And then hardwood is hardwood stuff, and like oak and whatnot is your hardwood stuff. And then your softwood stuff looks like you just chopped down what you could and built something out
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
all
So you have a
crude.
place.
It's all called crude,
Crude. That's, yeah.
crude doors and crude tables, and it just looks like a table I could build. We'll just put it
And
that
it,
way. And I'm not a
and that,
carpenter.
and here I am. I'm going into temples and just stealing all of the furniture from there.
I mean, a lot of the furniture I got, we went up and like attacked this huge base up in the ice area,
Hmm.
and I told Rook, I was like, we should probably hang out together, and he's like, I'm just gonna go wander off by myself, and died.
I split the party. I broke the cardinal sin.
Yeah. And so then I went through and just like looted everything I could find. I was just looting. I don't know if you saw it, but there's like banners that I found and like
Hmm.
chandeliers and anything cool I found. I was like, hey, I'm taking that. Yeah, I'm taking that.
But outside of that,
Beds,
what I learned is a lot of the stuff they had at that base is redwood gear.
some of it. Like there's a lot of bookshelves and like I found the alchemy table which we needed. I was like,
We
yes, sweet.
didn't have the materials to build it, so we stole it.
Just stole one. It worked. So, like, yeah, I like finding a lot of these abandoned places. Whenever I find like bookshelves and stuff, I always take them because I use them for decorations, and there's a
Of
lot of
course
cool
you do.
decorations in the game.
There are. There's a lot of stuff we don't have unlocked yet, or that we haven't messed with. But then again, we're still in early release.
Yeah, there's gonna by the time the game is fully launched, there's gonna be a lot more to it. I think. One thing we haven't played with yet, but I started the foundation for. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I went down in our mine shaft and stole all the mine tracks and all the mine carts that are down there, and I'm gonna make some like. I want to see how that works because that's what I was. That's what it was. It was redstone.
Redstone. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like redstone in this game yet, so I'm curious how. Like I know from watching videos and stuff that you can make mine carts work. I just don't know how. So I guess we'll see.
Maybe we just haven't done good enough yet.
I don't know. There is a red stone.
There's red stones, there's red crystals, there's red shards.
Adamantite.
Yeah, that's an iron pick can't cut.
I don't know. I'm running around with a thorium pick, so I don't know why you haven't made a better pick. You have like tons of cobalt at the base,
I'm
or
trying
you
to
did.
save up.
Did I steal it?
We have enough cobalt. I'm running around with a cobalt pickaxe. I just don't want to use all of our heavy leather that it requires until I unlock the next level of our workbench.
Oh, yeah. I've been just killing all the bears and stuff I can find for the heavy
Mhm.
leather. We got a bunch of it.
But from what I've seen, we are sitting at like 17 hides. Maybe you have it in your inventory or something because I didn't see it in the
Well,
chests.
17 is a bunch. That's what I
It
consider a
is,
bunch.
but we need 30 to upgrade the bench.
I didn't just use it when I made. No, I didn't because I made some thorium armor that I took medium, not heavy. I think I have some at my base too. So we'll pull resources and upgrade the benches and stuff.
Oh, yeah, but that is one thing I really do like is for each item you can have like 100 chests in your base linked to it, so that way it'll just pull from there when you go to craft versus
Hmm.
having it on your character.
Yeah, I do like that too. And plus, you get your inventory, and you can get backpack slots, which gives you
Hmm.
more inventory space, which is really nice because you need it. There's so many different materials
Yes.
you could find and stuff.
And sticks, lots and lots
So
of
many.
sticks.
You chop down a tree, you were gonna have so many sticks.
But that's one thing I do like about this game versus Minecraft is it actually functions like a real tree trap in the sense that you chop the lowest block, the whole tree collapses instead
Yeah,
of having to chop all the way up through the tree and what's left.
yeah, I like that. And then you don't have like just like half a tree hanging out in the air like in
Hmm.
Minecraft.
And that's how
Oh,
we get a ton of sticks because all the branches break off as sticks,
mm-hmm. And sap and leaves.
which is great because if you want to create 100,000 torches.
Well, you can also. So another thing I really like about this game is when you put a stick in your furnace, it you use it to smelt your ores and stuff, but it also breaks that stick down into charcoal, and then you could put the charcoal back in the furnace and use that again. So you get
Yeah.
like double whammy. I like
Oh,
it.
yeah. So anything else going on with your week, sir?
No, I don't think so. Did I do anything else? I have not really done much else.
All right. So I'll talk about my week because it was fairly interesting to start the week. So I haven't really been doing a lot of gaming or streaming, which I'm a little depressed with, but spent all day yesterday streaming Hytale.
Yeah,
And funny enough, the game has only been out, what, about a month?
yeah, maybe.
And there were 600, at least 600 viewers of that game already. So
Viewers
people are
watching
actually,
you?
no, watching people play that game.
Oh, okay. Well, I
I
mean,
wish I had 600 people watching me. I'm not
think
that famous.
think about it though. On YouTube, one of the most popular things is people watching other people play Minecraft. People just like to watch people build things in in games like that. So I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not surprised once it gets more popular and like even once it's like full release, I think it's gonna explode.
Yeah, I think once my numbers get up and I get more people watching me play, then I'll start getting their input on what I should do just to see what crazy thing chat calls out to build.
You know,
But
we need to
so
build a
what?
giant ice castle up in the frozen area.
You can do that. They give us the doors and windows and
The
stuff.
frozen wood and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
We could
That'll
make
be interesting.
and use like ice and
Yeah.
snow and stuff just to make this
Now
big old massive ice castle.
it'll be tricky to walk around in because once you build it, you'll just start sliding everywhere.
I wonder if you put snow down on it if you'll get more traction.
You you can get traction on snow. If you knock the snow off, you slide off. Ask me how I know.
I don't
So
think I need to ask you how you know.
so up in the frozen north, we actually he put the teleporter inside a ruined tower. Well, I went through the teleporter and was like, huh, I'm going to build this up into the tower it used to be. And
Into
then
the
I
tower
started
it should be. Yeah.
and I started doing that, but I got to the very top and I didn't realize there was some snow and ice blocks just sitting there, and I hit it and I went right off the edge. I didn't
Yeah.
die, but I did hurt.
I was going to say, did you notice the place I put the portal was not someplace where there was a lot of ice and snow for that particular reason? I chose like
Hmm.
some building that didn't have mobs in it so that like I don't just like when you go up there, you don't just teleport into a bunch of mobs and die.
Yeah, true.
That's why the
All
one
right.
in the barren whatever the lava place, I like dug it
You
into the
built
side
a
of the
cave
mountain.
for it.
Yeah.
I went there and just put 4 torches around it just so you could see inside the cave when you appeared.
Who needs to see?
All right. So the beginning of my week last week was interesting. So 2 weeks ago, I had a really rough week at work.
Mhm.
Uh, Monday, my boss pulls me aside and said, "Hey, I was approached by the manager in this other area, and they want to swap supervisors." And I was like, "All right." And he was adamant. The next phrase, "This is not punishment for last week. It was just a rough week." He came to me, we talked, and I told him to make sure he talks to you about it so that way you don't think it's punishment. I was like, "Oh, great." So I'm gonna be moving to another same department, just another area in that department. And it's more chill than what I was dealing with where was currently at. And so I'm not upset. I'm going to take it as an opportunity to learn a system that I know hardly anything about. I'm an avionics tech by trade. I know a lot about avionics. You've quizzed me on that before.
Mhm.
They're moving me to the area to work fuel systems. So I'm going to learn how the fuel system actually fully works, the pumps and all that. And we'll take time to learn that because I think that'll be really helpful as a uh,
Yeah.
aircraft maintainer. Even if I don't stay in the supervisory role, it'll help me out in the long run because then be able to plan stuff a little bit better. But that caught me off guard. And so I treated my guys on my team, bought them tacos from a restaurant here called Pollo Reggio, and they got really good tacos. And yeah, everybody was full by the end of that night.
I love tacos. I can eat
It was
tacos
Taco
anytime.
Thursday.
I can eat tacos every day of the week. I love tacos.
Oh, and these are the true Mexican tacos. So it's with the corn tortilla instead of the hard shell like Taco Bell and stuff. This is
Yeah.
actually like with the soft
The carne
tortilla.
asada in it, and it's got the onions and
Hmm.
cilantro, and usually they don't have cheese on them, which is I thought that was weird at first, but man, are they good.
That is like one of the very few things that typically have been bastardized with cheese that I actually enjoy without cheese.
Yeah.
Hmm. But so my week was all getting prepared for that. Uh, we got through our one jet that gave me the heartache 2 weeks ago, and then last week we finished up the other jet that started giving us heartaches, and then we got a jet that I was supposed to have done Friday, and yeah, I ran into a constraint that I can't actually be responsible for, and that's because there are certain things that we have to have somebody else actually look over. We call them the customer. They actually have to come over and look over the aircraft on certain things. And he came out and he's like, "I'm just not going to have time to do all of this. I'll buy off the actual physical connections, but we're not going to be able to do the operation check on it." I was like, "All right, that's fine. Beyond my control. You say no, I can't do it."
Right.
So ended the week not where I wanted to be, but in a better spot than the week previous. And so last week, I finally got back into Lord of the Rings online. Been jumping in and out of Star Trek online. Uh, got into Hytale yesterday. I bought it, what, Friday?
I think so.
And then I got into it yesterday. And those who listen to the show knows I'm not a huge fan of Minecraft, but I've been putting a lot of time and effort in this game because it's fun. Combat doesn't feel like just with every
Like,
single
how
item.
did that go? Wow. What do you got going on over there?
Wouldn't you like to know? Not really.
What was that?
So today, though, me and my brother, we went out and looked at. We picked up a 74-inch by 25-inch butcher block countertop. Tomorrow and throughout the week, I'm going to sand it down and stain both sides of it, and then protect it with a polyurethane coat, and that will replace this current desk that I'm using right here. Um, I think it'll give me more space. It'll be custom to me, and it'll be something I can modify that's not made out of this flimsy particle board that IKEA uses. Don't get me wrong, the desk I'm using has lasted 4 years, so
Yeah.
it's not bad. It's just I want something better.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of am in the same boat. Like my desk, I like my desk. It's a nice desk. It's not very big. Like, I don't really have, once you got my monitors and everything on there, I don't really have much space for anything.
Yeah, what I'm planning on doing is it's going to be a 25-inch wide where I sit with my computer, because right now, at from the cutout where I sit, it'll be about an inch wider than that. And then I'm going to over off of to this side over here. I'm going to do another L shape, which will be a standalone that they'll just butt up against each other. And it's going to be a 5 foot by 30-inch. So it gives me a lot more space. I can move my Star Destroyer from my coffee table over here onto a desk over there, and then I can get the coffee table out here, put a couch over there, and redesign the room. So within the next month, this whole room will look a little bit different.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted, I really, really have wanted for a long time to upgrade my PC. And it recently came into a little chunk of money. And then, of course, we had to buy a new van. So
Yeah.
someday,
Well,
someday.
well, the cost of RAM right now is the same as a new van. Just
Not really.
RAM is no RAM. I'm making fun of the price of RAM, sir.
Oh, what was I say? I got tons of RAM. I mean, that's not an issue. It's just
Well,
my computer's old. My motherboard and everything in my computer that I'm running is 7 years old now. So
which means
like,
you're probably running DDR4.
I am running DDR4.
DDR5 RAM is going to be fairly expensive.
It's not too bad. Like, because I originally, when I was going to upgrade, I originally accidentally bought DDR5, but then realized it wasn't compatible. Had to send it back and got the DDR4. But I mean, I have 64 gigs in here. It's DDR4, but it runs pretty good. And it's like, I don't know. The PC I was looking at is like roughly like $2,000.
Okay, so you're looking at a pre-built, not by building your own.
Yeah,
Let's put it
but it has
this way.
everything I would want in my own.
I am running a Corsair Vengeance DDR5 memory, 32 gigabytes worth.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that same thing that cost me roughly $100 for is $430.
Why?
AI, because AI places are buying up all the RAM.
Huh?
Yeah, it's you haven't heard it. It's all over the news. Yeah,
I haven't.
that's also why Nvidia isn't selling their 5000 series to consumers now. They're selling them to data centers, AI data centers.
Jeez, you're not lying. Corsair Vengeance, 32 gigs, $437. 64 gigs, $1,129.
Mm-hmm. And
Why?
you can thank AI data centers for that because they see more money in that than they do in consumers. It
That is
sucks.
insane. I've never seen RAM prices like that.
Yeah. It's been all over the tech news. Surprised you haven't noticed it.
I haven't been looking because I haven't needed it. Holy cow. So I wonder if the price of a pre-built's gone up.
Let's look real quick. I will go to. I usually use Newegg, so we'll go there and see what their pre-builts look like.
That's where I just was.
Let's see. Yes, people are seeing us do this live. Computer systems, gaming desktop PC. You're looking at. You can get one for 1,200, 2,000. You can get one between $1,500 and $2,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
It's running. This one is 2,500, but it's also running the GeForce RTX 5080. Some of these were built well before RAM and stuff started getting extremely high, though. Like this Alienware one's $1,500. Depending upon
Yeah,
what you kit it out with options. It's running the same graphics card I'm running, but I run AMD, not Intel. But yeah, so they've gone up in price significantly thanks to AI data centers. And I heard a report that OpenAI is actually reporting that they're going to be broke soon. Whether that's true or not, I haven't done full research. This is just what I heard at this time. So stay tuned for more.
jeez, yeah, holy cow.
All right. So that's my goal is to redo my room. So by my or not my room, this is my office. I use it separately as an office. I have my own room over there, out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have. I got a TV over here. I am going to have my monitor mounted on a mounting arm, so I can
Mm-hmm.
position it where I want. I want to get two other monitors that are the same width as my monitor is, or the same length as my monitor is tall. That way I can have two side monitors and I can have my chat displayed on one side and stuff displayed on the other side. So when I'm gaming, I'm not having to look up. I can just look out of the corner of my eye. Because a lot of times I don't see my chat up here or my Discord up here when it cycles.
But would you see it way off on the corner of your eye?
Yeah, because my peripheral vision up here doesn't trigger as much. And when I'm looking down here or looking down here or looking over here, I still see my peripheral vision over here. So
Okay.
that's where it's different. Anyhow, that's been my week. It's not very exciting. It's kind of boring because I'm a boring person.
Um, I was enthralled.
I can see it. You look so enthralled.
No,
You're
I'm
more.
still just flabbergasted by the price of these things, man.
I know, right? All right,
This is
let's get to
wild.
our main. Let's get to our main topic, sir.
Let's do it.
Because we're halfway through the show and we only touched on it at the beginning.
That's okay.
All right, as I posited at the very beginning, our episode is why the first playthrough of games always feels the best. For a lot of people, that is the case. There are people out there that want to have everything and then just run through and do whatever. That's their prerogative. They're speed runners where they run through, learn all the quick ways, and then that's their prerogative. For people like me, where you enjoy the adventure of a game, The first playthrough is usually the best, and there's a few reasons why I believe this. You can debate me or whatever when I read off the topics. Um, the first bullet I have on this list is the first playthrough is always about the unknown. So, for example, when you start leaving Helgen and Skyrim, the dragon attacks. You're not sure where you're going to go, what's going to happen while you're running through the buildings. Uh, or in Mass Effect, when you're flying to the Citadel for the very first time, it's exciting because the way they portrayed that in the game makes it seem interesting when you're pulling into Citadel, making it seem like this very important place, this very big place. And then seeing the Halo ring for the first time when you crash, after you crash land on it, and realizing, looking up, and you can just see where the world goes up. And
Perfect example to your point, Rook. Why did I quit playing Starfield?
quit
Because
playing
after I
Starfield.
got through it, and once I went through the Unity and had to do everything that I already did all over again, it just wasn't as
Mm-hmm.
fun. And the more times you do it, the less fun it gets having to redo that same story over and over. It's why
Mm-hmm.
like games like Diablo, where they like force you with every character to go all the way through the story. It's like until they got smart and made it to where you can level without it, without the story. Like that's one big issue I have with Path of Exiles too, is that every character you want to try out, you have to go all the way through the story to be able the same story. It's not even a different story; it's the same story
Mm-hmm.
to get to the end game. It's like give me an easy path to the end game because I've already done this story. I don't want to do it again. It just gets boring.
Yep. Uh, and you hit on a few of those. It gets boring. Uh, things. I put a sub bullet on here called "Things You Don't Know." What's dangerous? What will kill you? What won't kill you? Who will attack you on sight? Who won't attack you on sight? How you navigate certain areas. Um, I put a bullet on here because I found this funny. The first time I ever did it was like 2 years into the game being released and me having the game, attacking the chicken in Skyrim in that first town, and then everybody turns on
Yeah, you don't do
you.
that. This
I
is
learned
like,
that the hard way.
have you ever attacked the chickens in Ocarina of Time or any Zelda game?
Mm-hmm.
After you attack it so many times, suddenly you get swarmed by a just massive amount of chickens. You're like, oh
Yep.
my gosh! It's
See,
it's
that's the
learning
thing.
little things like that that makes the game like
Mm-hmm.
more fun. And it's like
And when it's unknown,
right, and
the
it's like that's
size of the
why
galaxy.
some games nowadays just drive me nuts because you got like okay, so like big MMOs and stuff. You go to raid
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's like, "Oh, I want you to go watch 15 videos on this boss fight before we do it." Why? Like that takes so much fun out of learning. Like let's
Mm-hmm.
beat our heads again. Like back in the day, I remember when like original EverQuest back in the day. You know, I always go back to EverQuest, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like going in against these new bosses and beating your head against them, or like original World of Warcraft, having to go through and figure out what you're doing wrong and how to change it and what like how to beat it. Like that's what made the bosses fun. Like there's this one boss in that I'll never forget in a raid called Naxxramas in World of Warcraft, where it's known as the dance boss because like he jumps up on his platform and you have to like dance around the room in a certain way to avoid the fire, otherwise you just die. Like you get hit by it,
Mm-hmm.
you're dead. And the only way to beat it is everybody has to come down and do this dance properly to beat it. And I remember beating my head on that thing for like 6 hours one night to figure it out, figure out the pattern,
Mm-hmm.
get through it, to beat it. And it just gives you this sense of accomplishment. But if you go in and you just watch a video of it and you're just like, oh, okay, that's what I got to do, and then you just do it. It's like, where's the fun in that? Like,
Hmm.
you're taking the fun out of the game.
Uh, to me, and this touches back on what we talked about. Yes, I think it was last week or the week before. The scale of the game, it just seems bigger the first time you play through, just because you don't know how big everything is. You
Right,
don't know your lack of knowledge about the game makes the game more intriguing, in my opinion.
right, because you got to figure stuff out. You actually got to play it, enjoy it. Like,
Hmm.
you're not just playing it to play it. You're playing it to enjoy it, to like immerse yourself. Like when we played Avowed, like that
Hmm.
game was so fun the first playthrough. I loved it the first playthrough, especially since like some of the choices you make like affect the story and stuff like that's fun. And then we're
Hmm.
talking and you're like, oh well, when I did it, I did it this other way and this happened and something different happened instead. And it was like, oh, that's really cool. But once you've done it, it's like you know what's about to happen. You know, it's like watching a movie like The Sixth Sense the second time.
Hmm.
And you know you know the big reveal at the end and you watch it and you're just like, well, that was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where it's a catch-22. Um, when it comes to games, so there's some games I'll go back and play through. I know the story. I'm going to play it anyway just because I love the game.
Yeah, for the
Uh,
nostalgia of it, yeah.
but you touched on one of my points, this next point. And the next point is discovery creates emotional ownership.
Yeah,
Because your first playthrough, that's all you're doing is discovering. You're discovering the tactics you got to use, discovering what's going on in the game, discovering what your decisions affect what. Your first major decisions that actually affect everything. Mass Effect series is the one I chose because the the choices you make of the crew on where they go supports whether or not they live or die and how many are alive in the next game.
yeah,
Stuff like that. If you don't know that stuff. My first playthrough of the game, Mass Effect series, I didn't know that. I didn't know putting people in the wrong spots and they will die and they won't make it to the next game. I actually started the next game with a couple of characters dead because I made bad choices.
yeah,
I, one of the notes I was looking up was the first boss in Dark Souls. And the reason why I was looking that one up is I've never actually played the Dark Soul games, but based on all the videos and stuff I've seen about Dark Souls, I get why the first boss in Dark Souls would be a bullet on this. And that's because it's the first time you're fighting this boss. You don't know what they're going to do.
yeah. So, I played through Elden Ring, right? This
Hmm.
I mean, Elden Ring is hard. It's very, very hard. I played through that game. I did not my first time playing through the game, I purposely made it a point to not look up any strategies, anything with that game. I was just going to experience the game. It was an experience. We'll say that.
Now,
It was
now
so hard. So
oh
hard.
yeah. And you're going, all right, what do I got to do? How will I survive this? And then you die. So what happens next? You die.
But nowadays, like games, like a lot of games, and a lot of my friends are guilty of this too, and they'll like make fun of me for it. Is like Path of Exiles, for instance. You'll start the game at level 1, and a lot of my friends will be sit here using these guides that will tell them where to put every single one of their points as they level to maximize their character the best way possible. And it's like,
Hmm.
I get that you want to like be strong and stuff, but like at level 1, you're already doing that because like
So I'm not one
it
of those
takes some of the
people.
fun out of the game.
If I've already beaten the game, take KOTOR for example, um, I will go in and min max my character just to see the difference between how I played the first time through and how a min max player runs. I don't like min maxing because I like building characters for role play, but most video games and modern video games especially aren't designed for that because they
Yeah.
want as much engagement.
Well, like even with Path of Exiles, that's the one I'm using as the example. Like I will go through and play it the way that feels good to me until I get to end game, and then I'll be like, okay, so what? How can I get strong? Then I'll look. Once I'm there, once I'm already at the end game, and it's like, okay, I'm getting beat down. Okay, what can I do to help my character a little bit? But like through the game, it's just I want to play it the way it feels good to me, like the way like I feel comfortable playing that character. I don't need to min max at level 10. I need to min max at level like 70 when I'm running like the maps and stuff at the end. Like that's when you need to min max and when it matters. But like, I mean, yeah, can I shave off an hour or two of my leveling process if I min max? Maybe, but like that's where the fun is. Like that's
Yeah.
the fun of the game.
So uncertainty helps create that emotional investment. The more playthroughs you have, the more you realize, okay, this is what I need to do when I start the game to get here at the most powerful I can be. While as first couple of playthroughs of some games, and this isn't every game, mind you, there's some games where replay, you go back in, things can be completely different. But there are, in most games, once the uncertainty's gone, it's really not that fun of a game. Hence, Starfield for you.
Yeah, because like you get in, you know exactly where to go to get everything you need to get. You know exactly where to go to beat all the missions. It's literally it's like you're just like going through the motions. It's not even fun at that point. You're just kind of playing through the motions to get to where you need to get instead of exploring, checking things out. Like a really good example of that. Okay, I got a really good example for you.
Mm-hmm.
Original NES Dragon Warrior. The game
Uh,
Dragon Warrior for the original
yeah.
NES, right? If you know, like, you can start the game, and in like the first 15 minutes of the game, you could have the best armor and sword of the game if you know where it's at. You just make your way, run away from everything, make your way down to this one spot, get the armor and stuff, and then you just dominate the game after that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, that's not as fun. Like,
Yeah, but as a kid playing that game, you didn't have that information.
right.
So a
You
lot
had to
of
wander around and you had to look for things and you had to talk to people and find the clues and go and look and to find the different places and then find it eventually and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm now level 40 and I have this stuff and I'm so strong. Instead of I'm level 1 and now I could just destroy the whole game. I'd go beat the boss at level 10, the final boss.
yeah,
Like,
we've talked about this a bunch tonight is knowledge shrinks the universe of that game. You
right.
know the mechanics, the best way to beat areas. You know the story in most cases. And by definition, you know the size of the game, how long it's going to take you to beat the whole game, and how much you can get out of it. To me, I miss games where Final Fantasy VII, the original and the remake, how it spans multiple, and in the remake, how it spans multiple different games.
You just hit on what I was actually just thinking. You literally just regurgitated the words I was thinking. Final Fantasy VII Remake did it right. Okay, so many games nowadays are like, oh, we're gonna give you a pixel remaster of this game, and look at how great the graphics are, and you're like, oh, cool, and it's the exact same game with the exact same story. Like for instance, one of my favorite games, Super Mario RPG. They
Mhm.
revamped all the graphics. They added a couple, cool attacks and stuff. But basically, it's the exact same game, the exact same story. Everything is the same. Final Fantasy VII gave us an upgraded version of the game, but then they also gave us Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is, it tells the same story, but in a completely different way. So it's not like I'm just playing Final Fantasy VII for the 37th time. It's a whole new game in a whole, they make you care about different characters at different times. You still know eventually where the story is going to go, but you don't
Mhm.
know how you're going to get there. And that is what I like. That is awesome. I love them for doing that. I know they get a lot of flack, and a lot of people are like, yeah, this isn't Final Fantasy VII. Good. Good.
Well, I'll be one of the first people to tell you when Advent Children came out, I was like, they need to take Final Fantasy VII, give it those graphics, and that's it. Then I played the remake when they released it, and it's like, all right, I like what they're doing here, and they're acknowledging their slight deviation of the story in a really awesome way.
I don't even think they really deviated the story. They
No,
just expanded upon it.
it deviates a little bit. Those ghost things that attack
But yeah,
is
that is a little bit
actually
different.
trying to push everything to where it should be in the very original Final Fantasy story. So they deviate a little bit, not like a ton where it's very noticeable, but when they
Yeah, like
explained that,
the
I was
Zack
like,
story, they changed the Zack story a lot too.
but when they had those ghost things going in and trying to make what's supposed to happen in Final Fantasy VII happen, I was like, they know they changed some stuff and they're acknowledging it in game in an awesome way.
Yeah.
That is awesome to make replayability of one of their best games. But there are games out there where the replayability, I will go back and replay a game over and over and over just because I actually like the story. I won't play it. All right, I played this yesterday. I'm going to go back and play it again. No, it'll be like a few months down the road or a year or so down the road, but I'll jump back in. Breath of Fire, for example, I love that game. I wish they'd remaster it, but Capcom probably won't because there's not a big enough market for that. Um, However, I will go back and play that game just because I love the story of Breath of Fire 1, 2, and 3.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like it's that way across multiple platforms. Like
Mhm.
books. There's a lot of books that I've gone through and read multiple times. I know what the story is going to be, but in the same aspect, and we've actually touched on this on the show before too, is like when they turn a book into a show. I don't want a direct regurgitation of the book to a show because if you do that, then it's going to be boring because I know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. I want them to deviate a little and not like make huge monster changes to it or anything, but like I think Harry Potter did it really well. Like the books or the movies follow the books really well, but there is a lot of deviation. There's a lot of things they left out. There's some things they added. And it I like that because if they would have just regurgitated the books, it would have been just like playing a game that you've already beaten. I mean, you know what's coming. You know the catch, the hitch, and it's like it's not as enjoyable.
Yeah, it's same with the Lord of the Rings. The movies were great. There were differences between the movies and the books,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like both.
Right, for
The
what they are.
movies for
You
what they
gotta like
are.
them for what they are.
Yeah, you cannot get the same level of detail in a movie that you'll get in a book. Because a book's not trying to cram everything in 2 hours, or in the Lord of the Rings case, 4 hours, if you do the director's cut.
I mean, why would you do anything else?
True, but you gotta approach it to where, all right, there's people who have read all the books; they know exactly what's going on. We're going to do our best to please them, but also make it interesting for non-readers. The same with video games, and the same with replayability. I know this story. Make it interesting in a remaster or a remake.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy did.
Mm-hmm.
Give us
Now,
give us the story, but give us a little more. Like, the whole story with Cloud and Jesse and them going up and him running that mission up with her, and like they made us really care about those, like Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse. Like we really cared about those characters a lot in
mm-hmm.
that game. In the first Final Fantasy VII, it was like,
Yeah,
like they were
like
there, but I didn't really care about any of them.
the first Final Fantasy VII, the original. One of the most impactful areas is where Midgar falls, the section of Midgar falls. I really wasn't that upset by it. It was like, oh my God, I didn't expect that. And then I go play the remake, so they make you invested in those zones, so that way when it
Yeah,
happens,
you like go back to them and you see the devastation and the people that are hurt by it and the people that are missing their loved ones, and they like literally
mhm,
make you care.
yeah,
Like you feel so bad and like guilty almost, because it's like partially your fault. I mean, yeah, it's an evil corporation that did it, but it's partially your fault.
partially our fault, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were coming after us, but like it's like I love that. I love that they did that because yes, it's the same story, but it gets you invested again. Whereas,
Hmm.
like, I mean, I could play the original over and over because I love the game, but like, it's not the same.
Of course. And we've been talking about different examples of our topic tonight, extending beyond games. Books is a big one because you go back and reread the books. Now, I will go back and reread different novels all the time, especially the chronicles for Dragonlance. I am actually listening to the audiobook for X-Wing series, the Star Wars X-Wing, the Legend, the now Legends series, and I finally had it explained what Legends is. Uh, so they've turned the expanded universe into Legends, and it's the way they explained it, and it actually makes a lot of sense in these audiobooks. Is at the beginning of the audiobook, they say they switched it over to Legends because these are legends within these stories are telling the legends inside the Star Wars expanded universe. And so might not be perfectly accurate to whatever is canon because what legends
It's
are
just a legend. Yeah.
exact. Yeah. So now I'm uh listening to the X-Wing series, and that's one of my favorite Star Wars series. I have read it 2 or 3 times, but so far ago that I don't remember everything. And I'm finding that out by listening to the novel, and it's like I don't remember who this traitor is. I don't remember almost any of this because it's back right after high school is when I read these novels. Back
Right.
early in my military career, 20 plus years ago.
Right. And I mean, in that situation, it's almost like re-
A
again
whole
for
new
the
story.
first time, because it's like
Hmm.
you got the nostalgia because you loved it, but then you
Hmm.
don't really remember it enough to where it all seems new. And that's good. Like I'll go back as I'm going back through these Final Fantasy games, a lot of these ones, like the ones I'm playing right now, I haven't played since I was a kid.
Hmm.
Like I'm getting really close to 6. Like, I'm almost done with 4 still. I'm getting close to 6. 6 was one of my favorite Final Fantasy games as a kid, but I haven't played it since I was maybe 20. So it's been
Hmm.
like 22 years since I've played it. So, yes, I still remember it quite well. Like, I still remember the main points of the story, but it's going to be like, not like playing it for the first time, but like, I'm going to have to actually explore. I'm going to have to actually play it. I'm not going to like
Hmm.
look up things for it or anything like that. I'm going to play through it like I would have the first time, and it's going to be fun because it's been so long.
Yep. Now, an example I used also for extends beyond games is I put the Pathfinder, Pathfinder, D&D, all of those, any kind of games like those. So your first campaign experience when you first play the game is, all right, this is awesome. I can do all of this stuff. And then you start learning the rules and it's like, okay, I'm a lot more limited than I thought. This isn't as big as I thought. But here's the catch. It goes depending really on whether you're using a planned adventure guide for whatever game you're playing versus somebody doing a homebrew campaign, because there's a set end to the adventure guide. So you already go into it knowing you're going to have a set end. You don't know how long it's going to be, but it's probably not going to be very long. Maybe if you play every weekend, maybe a year. But the homebrew adventures,
That's not very long. A year? That's pretty long.
I was in a campaign that played 2 years running.
That's like if you play what, a couple hours every weekend. Say you play for like 3 hours every weekend. That's like 150-hour campaign. That's pretty long. Holy cow! But I don't know. I don't look at that like D&D and stuff like that the same way, because every time you play, it's going to be different.
Well,
You're not playing the same game over and over. It's like playing a game of Magic. Every time you're going to get different cards at different times. Your rolls are going to be different. Like, things are going to be different every round. That's going to make the game different.
Certain things will be the same. Certain things will be different. But when you're running a campaign adventure or an adventure guide, some of them are designed to keep the player base on track and focused. So it is more of a video game style of, here's the story. These things all tie to the story. All your side quests help with the story. Not, hey, I'm going to go do this side quest over here that has absolutely nothing to go about what's going on in the.
Yeah, but if you're doing so say you're doing an adventure guide, whatever, where you have to go take the gold from this dragon and you got to venture there to get it. Whatever. I don't know. I'm making something up. When you finish that, you're not going to turn around and play that same exact adventure guide again through. It's going to be a different one the next time. So every time the story is going to be different. Right? Like, I'm speaking from a very naive perspective because I don't know a ton about D&D or Pathfinder.
So
I haven't really played them. But every time the story is different, right?
I will use the example of this adventure guide. The beginner box path for D&D 5e Path of Fandover, the Mines of Fandover. Sorry, that story is the same no matter what you do. Now, what made it different for this game is D&D expanded on that story, came out with a part 2 to the campaign adventure guide, which modifies the original and the new to where they fit together. And that did make the story different but it really only got different post.
That's not what I'm saying though. What I'm saying though is if you played that adventure, right? The one that you just mentioned, when you finished it, you wouldn't just start that adventure again and play through it again. You'd play a different one the second time.
Yeah.
Right.
But
see, that's what I'm saying. It's a different game each time.
Think of the adventure guide as different chapters to a video game. Like, take Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mines of Fandover is game 1. This next adventure guide's game 2. And game 3 is whatever third one that brings them all together. Now, I can play through all these. I know them, but say a DM is short and needs one other player to play for these other people that want to play. And I go jump in on that one. I already know what's going to happen. But
okay.
The difference is with D&D, how you get there and the way people build their characters is as intriguing as the story itself. So that is where the difference between medias come into play in this topic. As D&D, video game, you're set on how you can build characters. A lot of people like to optimize character the best, so they'll min max all that stuff. D&D, you can min max, but there's also role play elements you got to account for. So if you min max, you can keep yourself out of those. And some of the best characters are ones that aren't min max. They're just built interestingly with interesting stories. And your dice rolls, to me, a failure on a dice roll makes more of a story. But that's
Or a person with
there.
insanely lucky dice rolls.
Who is not named Will Wheaton. Because he has lucky dice rolls for the DM.
Yeah.
All right. So the biggest point to this entire topic today is once you go back, you can never truly go back to the story and enjoy it like you did the very first time.
Oh, sure.
You are, like we've said multiple times, you already know what's going to happen. What's special about the game is no. Now, this is where I believe mods help. Is for video games, mods can go modify the story. I'm playing Starfield again, but I did the complete Star Wars Genesis mod overhaul. So yes, there is still a big core of Starfield there, but they've added new stories to fit the Star Wars universe as well. So that helps. Books and movies and expanded universe spinoff helps a lot too.
Right.
Because that spinoff, all right, cool. I know this game. Hey, or Firefly, for example, if they did just a spinoff about Kylie. Did I say her name right? The engineer. Think so. Her character. If you take it and do a spinoff with her post the events of Firefly, that would be amazing because I'm actually interested to see what happens to all the characters post outside of the graphic novels.
Right.
So,
or even something like with EverQuest, where they do like those progression servers, but every time they come out with a new one, they do like a different rule set on the server, where they change like the way items drop, or this happens, or like, just something to make it fresh. Like make it a little. I mean, I'm never gonna get that same experience I got the first time I played EverQuest, but at least this gives me something to, make it a little exciting, make it fun again.
Yeah, exactly. So that is our topic for today. If you have different thoughts about this, feel free to hit us up in the comments. Feel free to hit us up in our Discord, discord.gg/raw podcast, or linked in the description below. We actually really like to have these one-on-ones or these discussions about these topics. So feel free to hit us up. If you see something you like in, I forgot where I was going with my train of thought.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, you should like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot with the algorithm.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this on podcast, give us 5 stars. That helps too. Anyhow, that's all I got for today. You got anything else to add, sir?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, in that case, I hope y'all have a great week. And as always, stay nerdy.
Have a great week, guys.